Hello everyone, welcome back to card number 2 of the Celebrating You workshop. And if you haven't seen the bundle yet, I will put a link below, and also the other videos that I did with the first card and the mechanism that we're going to use. So this is currently on sale. There is a special where you receive not only all the papers, envelopes and everything you need to make these cards, but also you get the stem set with the matching dies. Oops. To create these cute little package decorations. And then you also get the mechanism. You can get these individually in the catalog as well if you don't want to follow these instructions. So the mechanism is on page 42 on the bottom here. And then this is the one stem set we're working with today. And then here's another one where we're using the same mechanism, but naturally this is just an idea at the beginning. There's so much more you can do with these sets. So if you watch assembling card number 3, I will give you a couple more pointers what you can do with this. And then we have on top here on starting page 10, this is the paper pack that we're using, which is really gorgeous. It's called Celebrating You, and there's lots to celebrate about. So let's get started. So this is the card we're gonna make today, and this one has a pull out, a long one, as you can see here. So it stacks multiple packages, and I will show you how this works. All right, so first of all, we have our card base, and like always, if you are like me, I haven't done this yet, but I will stamp a phrase on the inside and decorate the inside of your card. Go ahead and do this first. The reason why I always do this first is if I screw up for whatever reason on the inside here, I can always take my card, fold it over the other way, and then this part up front in our case will be covered up where we messed up with paper anyway. So I have a new clean inside to start over again. So just a little hint, if you're having issues sometimes that your stamped item or image doesn't come out as well, do the inside first. Once the inside is pretty, you start with the outside. All right, okay. So here's our first piece of paper, and this will be adhered to the card front, which is pretty simple. Yes, you could use this one too. It's up to you. There's always usually two pretty pages, sides to one piece of paper, which makes it hard to decide which one you want, but we take this one here. We follow instructions to the teeth today, so just making sure everything sits square. And to cut your paper, all the paper cutting instructions, it's all in the manual here. Like I said, if you have questions, please feel free to contact me, and I can give you detailed measurements and more information about that. So this goes in the center. So we're just making sure we have an even frame around this here. Okay. Okay. Now here is our card with the mechanism. So we have been, there were talks in the past about how do I know which size to use to cut this slit for my mechanism, because when you look at your thin cuts for the mechanism, they actually come with 3 different sizes of slits to cut. Number 1 is 1 inch, number 2 is 1.5, and this one is 2 inches. So this one actually turns out to be 2 inches. And the reason being is we're using this embellishment. So this is our package, which goes somewhere down here, and then this one slides out. So this one slides out. The top is visible on your card, so we can't count this one, but all this down here will be sliding out. So to ensure that we have enough space to pull it out, I just measure from this tip towards the end here, and it's almost 2 inches. So that means in this case I have to take my 2-inch slit cutter and put a 2-inch slit in. How far do I have to go from this? Well, that depends on how far down you are putting your package. You usually want, if I put these together, you want your slit to start somewhere down here. So I just put this next to it so you can see. I don't want this to peek out on the bottom, but I don't want this to be that far up, because if this is where I pull it out, I can't pull it out all the way. You know, it doesn't work that way. You want to make sure that the bottom of your cover up, in this case the present, is sitting just a little bit below, like 1/8 of an inch below. That way you ensure that your mechanism works perfectly, and when your package is in, it will slide out with no problem. In this case we have this happy birthday, so we actually can pull it down a little bit more so you can see if this is my happy birthday. So let's say 1/4 inch. All right, okay. Now this one, because this one uses the mechanism, needs to be raised, and I already put some foam tape on the back. This is a thin foam tape. It doesn't need to be the thick one, and I have old leftover ones that I'm using because my new one is in the mail. And then we need our mechanism. So this is the part that we cut out with this piece. Here you can see this is the piece, and then next we're using this one as well. So how do you do this? When you cut this out, it actually comes like this, and you want to look for the side that has the deeper impressions of the scoring line, which is this side. On the back it's hard to see, so you know this is the side that's gonna face you on your card, and you want to bend the left and right side right here where that crease is, that score line is. Let me push this out of the way and just score this, and then we use the other side and do the same thing. Bend it backwards. Make sure you score it really nice, so when you fold them in the back together, it's one nice clean strip. And I'm just gonna put some adhesive on here. Push this together and hold it down a little. Okay, and then the two front ones, that would be looking like this. So you fold them in, and then the half one's gonna be out and out. And you want to make sure these are nicely creased as well. And then we have this little flap which has two scoring lines right here and right here. So we start with the one with the bigger end, just keeping it in line. Okay, there's one, and then here's the other one. So we just fold this back. So you have this little flap here in the back, and I just gonna put a little bit adhesive, not too much because we don't want to cut it shut, close it, glue it shut. We just want to adhere it so we have this nice opening here, and then this should fit inside here with no problem. And what this will do is this is gonna be a guide for us, so when this mechanism is in, we have to slide this down a little bit and adhere it down here so it doesn't slide anywhere. And we will do this in a second. First, let's do the mechanism. So as you can see, I put the foam tape all the way around, but only a little bit on the top here because this part has to be open. If you put foam tape here, your slider will not slide up and down. We need to leave this open because that's what's going to happen. we're gonna, and I just leave this on for now. I'm gonna pull these two tabs up and then push them from the back of this piece through the front. Now they're in. And then when you're on the front, you just open them. And that is one part of your mechanism. So what is that white thing for? So as you can see here now, this is in. If we would pull this up, you know, if this white thing was not be attached, we can move this around like back and forth and back and forth. But we want this, don't want this to happen. We want this to be straight as possible. So what I like to do, I'm gonna lift this up, put a little bit adhesive on here, slide it down, make sure my mechanism is all the way down. See here, all the way down. And then line this up, that's in the middle, in the center, and then I just put this one down away from the opening here. Okay, so this will hold in place. So then this one can't move that far. See how it's now confined? That's what we need. All right, make sure there's no adhesive anywhere. Sometimes it seeps out here at on the side. Just gonna erase it. Perfect. Now, when you look at our sample card, so there's just a tiny little bit of yellow showing. So this piece kind of like completely covers up that yellow one. Okay. Let's remove the sticky tape backing or the foam tape backing. And let's put this on our card front. Now this stuff is pretty sticky, so I'm trying to line it up as good as I can with just a little bit of edge showing, and I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now you have one part done of your card. The next one would be, so here we have those two pieces, and I already colored mine in. So I used a gray marker, a blue marker, and an orange one, and that teal or lagoon type. Whatever you have, whatever works with the colors you have here. Just remember, if you put your two pieces together and you center this top one, and for whatever reason your bow is not, or your ribbon is not lining up, that's because you have it upside down. If you flip it over, you see there's a bigger opening here in the design and the tiny little line up here. This needs to be in the upper left corner. And then when you line these two up, center this piece above the big one, the ribbon's gonna line up. So just remember to do that. And to ensure that this piece slides out as we plan on, you have to put foam tape on the side here too. Again, that's the thin foam tape. And what you want to ensure is, see how this piece has a little notch here inside, so this piece is bigger. When you place your foam adhesive, you want to make sure to stay way far to the side, not to infringe on this bottom part, because if you line it up with this side here, you can't pull this out. So ensure that, you know, when you put it on here, that you put it to the side and leave this piece down here enough room to slide up and down. And you can always test it, just pulling it up and down, see if it goes, then it's fine. All right, now we're gonna remove these. And in this case, before we start putting this one on here, I actually gonna put the phrase down here at the bottom first, and this one has a little bit foam adhesive on the back too. Simple being that way it's easier to place the package with the slide out correctly. So we're just gonna center this on the card front. There we go. Now here's our slider mechanism. Like with the other card, make sure it's all the way to the bottom. Now we're taking a glue dot, and I use big glue dots, the large ones. I don't use them often, but they fit perfectly on here. So I just rip off a little piece of paper, that way I can see where my glue dot is. And you might not see this, but what I try to do is when this is opened, I try to line up my big glue dot. So it's right here in the center. And then I just rub it down. And pull my backing off. And if you don't have big ones, you can just use smaller ones, 2 smaller ones, 3 smaller ones. Okay, so now the glue dot is on here. It doesn't stick anywhere around the edges because we don't want this to happen. Now we're taking our 2 pieces and you have to hold them together. Remember, I already removed the stickiness, so I try not to touch the sides here, but I try to line this up the way I would like it to stick out on the, or stick on the card, like so. And then I just center it above my happy birthday here. And let it fall down. Okay. Then we just make sure it's rubbed in here. Okay. And now, here we go. It slides all the way out. You see, it has a little wiggle room, but it's not too bad, so it goes in and out with no problem. It doesn't come out all the way, and it slides in to the point where it just lines up perfectly with the rest. So in this one, we're just gonna cut a little fin. Best is you mark this with a pencil, so when you start cutting, you don't cut into your card. And there we have it. Now when it comes to those little stars, again, you might have seen me when I pull this out that I lift that corner up a little bit. Reason being is I have to fix this, but this star is in my way. So when I pull it up, I didn't think of, oh wait a second, you know, there's my pull out coming along. So I have to lift this up to be able to pull it out. And the same as when I pull it back in, I have to push it down. So make sure when you do yours that you place your stars away from the pull out line. So we can put this one here, this one over here, and then we put this one here, and we should have no problem pulling these out. There you go. So while we have them right there, I'm just gonna put in some little dots of adhesive. Or not. This is stuck. Then we use this one here. One. There's a little bigger one. And then this one, I'm just gonna put a little bit adhesive here. They're so fine and thin, doesn't need a lot. And then we place the others using our magic sticker tool. If you haven't seen these ones here, these are excellent. It's like a waxy tip that you actually use with a regular pencil sharpener, and just if it's not getting sticky anymore, sharpen it again. It comes in a long stick, and there are 2 in a package. Excellent for picking up sequins and placing them on your card when you have adhesive down. Like I just do, I usually always do the my adhesive first and then put my sequins in there, and so it's easy to really pick them up and put them down. All right, and here we have it. There's card number 2. And this one is a little bit, as you can see, it has a little tendency to wobble. So what you could do, if this is something that bothers you, you just cut out 1 extra piece of these little white, not white, but these little things here, and you just place a second one further down here, like we did with the first one. That way it stays more in line, you know, because this one is a long pull out. It's 2 inches long, so it has a little bit give. But if you just remember to place your adhesive on the sides to leave a nice opening, and make sure you have enough space to have this go up and down, you shouldn't have a problem pulling it up and down. All right, so this was card number 2 from this set. There's 1 more to go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I will see you back here for card number 3. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.